to Down Your Unders. Down Your Unders. Review and dissection of content from some of the sharpest minds in the game. Hosted by Adam Camilleri. Art of War. Down Under.
Hello, my lovely patrons, and on this special holiday edition and end of year edition, everyone else. This is becoming our Boxing Day morning, and hopefully you've had a wonderful time with family, friends, or in your own beautiful company. And regardless, I hope you are doing nothing but having the best of life. I'm once again joined by the mogul Dustin Henshaw and the scarred one Ridvan Martinez. Hello, gents.
Hey,
Hello?
I've definitely gained at least 5 pounds now.
Yeah, by now I will have. By the time you're listening to this, I will be a fatter man. There is undoubtedly
100% a fatter man.
I'm just getting into the zone for the ogre army to come for Old World. I'm zoning in. I'm getting my gut ready.
Oh, I am doing Wood Elves wrong. Then that's the my
you
God.
are, dude. You need to come over to the Great Mall.
I've already dug a hole in the backyard where I will continue my mummification process.
That's it. I thought you were digging to the Great Mall, but never mind. That was
No.
also a fine answer.
I play Tomb Kings.
Yes, you do. You just, yeah. Definitely not the Necrons. Oh wow, is that why you play? You played Necron once, and now you're a Tomb King player.
I've been a Tomb King
Oh,
player
you know what?
longer
It's actually
than
kind
I've
of adding
been
up
a
now. Now
Necron
it
player.
makes sense.
No.
Now-
Although I will say the name Scary was originally my Tomb King name.
There you go. Well, I refute all of that
Wait a
actual
minute.
evidence, and I go with my headcanon. So, sorry, mate. You played Necron once, and now he's tainted for life, and he only likes dead or bone related.
Bone related.
All right.
Gets kinky all of a
what's going
sudden in the
on.
podcast over here.
Yeah. Anyway, we're doing our naughty or nice list, but also we have some patron questions. We're just going to answer those, and we're going to get out of here and get back to our families. But the first question comes from Ben Crowther. Obviously, if you want to get involved with these part twos and all this juicy, spicy second half of the things, you can just go over Patreon, go to Art of World Down Under, sign up, give us a couple of bucks. There is a phenomenal amount of content there for you to go back and look at, listen to. But Ben Crowther asks, could you ask each guest what their top 3 niche rules they like to pop out in current 10th edition? Recently, I've become aware of deploying out of rhinos for sisters to prevent Overwatch, crossbows, and the grenade strat for something nice. Then I suppose, so the top 3 rules that you guys find are game changers or things that can be distilled down. So the things you like to pull out as being like, these are little things I'm going to use to try and, get an edge, or skill-based little niche rules to wield. Dustin.
Might have to think about those ones, because niche, there's definitely a lot of them. I'm just trying to think of the ones that I find to be game changing.
Well, let me start. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
One of the rules that I think is the most useful rules are move again rules.
Yep.
Anything that's move again. So Scourge.
Is that niche though?
Well, it is. Not everybody has access to them.
Shut
but they're like very, very. I'm gonna rub it in more. Okay. Move again rules I think are very good, but like in Nicheville, which is 1% of Drukhari matchups, right? Or Drukhari players of the planet. The Venom jumping back into a Venom after in the fight phase. That's a very niche rule, which allows you to play some really wacky stuff like get out of a Venom with a unit that has all guns, make the Venom do an action, press buttons, and then have the unit shoot and then hop back in. So you still like have them in the Venom, but they got to shoot, but the Venom did the action, right? So there's cool stuff like that. Another one being if you can like have a gets hot weapon on a vehicle and you have like a firing deck on a vehicle and your vehicle has only 3 wounds left, you can try shoot with the guys inside with get hot weapons.
Hey, don't take mine.
To do damage to a vehicle. And then when the vehicle dies, then the unit can shoot as well.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You stole. I taught you that. Son of a bitch.
Hey, I used it, okay? I've used it.
Okay, well, I'm going to expand on that because this is why I brought it up with Scary, because before there was the time, it's since been changed. I may or may not have been partially responsible for it, but there was a time that the one-shot items like demo charges, could be fired out of a vehicle, and they do not count towards the one shot. So you can fire all the demo charge. You can fire like with if you have 2 saboteurs and say 10 acolytes with 4 demo charges in there, you can fire 7 demo charges because the truck has one as well.
Yep.
Fire 7 demo charges. You can have the truck die because of the hazardous on the acolytes and the truck demo charges, and then they can all fire them again after they get out.
Demo charge, yeah, it's disgusting.
That was a niche one that I took to a tournament, and it was not okay. It was not okay.
No, we all know it's not okay, Dustin.
Yeah, that was not okay.
And you did it
I fought
anyway.
Chaos Space Marines, and yeah, they died to one squad.
Good. Good. They deserve to die anyway. Heretics. Any others you can think of, Sky?
Anything that has to do with like coherency, right? So like being able to, that's something that is a transferable skill that I've used for many, many years. Also, don't necessarily have to use the best save that you have on a unit. So if you want a unit to die, you can take the worst save / reroll a past save to try and fail it. If you absolutely need something to die, to free something up, or make sure that your opponent can't tie you up in combat, etc. So just things like that.
Dustin, any others you can think of?
The charging rule where you cannot. If you can base something, you have to base it. You can manipulate that so you can block your other models from basing it, so then you can actually do a lot more movement shenanigans like you used to be able to. There's just little things like that. If you read the rules like that, if you block yourself from not being able to base it now suddenly you can use that charge rule to do some fancy stuff with it, because now you don't have to end in base because you can't.
Agreed. I like to, or one of the ones I always found is weird, and there's a lot of different timings on sticky objectives, when sticky objectives unstick. That's right. Yeah, there are some that only unsticky at the end of the turn or the command phase. There are some that unsticky at the end of any phase, right? I think there's a couple.
I think sticky is end of turn or start of turn. I think that's pretty standard.
Those are the two. Yeah. I always like having sticky. I think sticky is a very powerful niche thing that not everybody can do. And if your army can do it, I think you should behoven to do it. One of my favorite ones is the way Scout and Infiltrate interact. If you have any model in your army that can have both Scout and Infiltrate, that is a premium unit. I don't care how many points it is, you should consider it, because having those two on the same thing is just such a flexible nuisance, amazing thing to have. But moving on, to Daniel Ford, I have recently been building lists around fixed secondaries. Do you guys build lists around fixed, or do you prefer the randomness of tactical, or is it army dependent? I personally, philosophy is that I want to build an army that does have the option to take fixed. Every single army wants to have the option to take fixed, but 80% of the time I'll be playing tactical. Is currently where I'm sitting in the game at the moment, and that is with knowledge of the fact that I'm mostly playing Chaos Knights at the moment. But Dustin, what's your philosophy?
For the most part, I want to build the list the same way. I want to make sure that I can do both. One of the deciding factors for me a lot of the time is my army good at doing tactical, which GSC is incredible at doing it. So obviously,
probably the best in the game.
Yeah, literally probably the best in the game at doing it. So like for me, it's not like, but when I play Tyranids, for example, we'll use that as a better example then, because they can do both for sure, because they have Biovore and Spores, which are they're so valuable for 75 points. But anyway, I always build my list so it can do both. But one of the core philosophies in terms of what I'm going to be basing it on is if my list needs help getting CP. And Tyranids generally do need help with CP, because the only way they can reliably generate it is by killing characters with their lictors or paying 270 points for a Swarm Lord. And that's how they get CP. So
dang.
Generally speaking, if you're playing a list that needs the CP, then you want to play tactical, because there'll be those times you get a card that you can't do, and you just get your CP for it. So it's a better way that when you're playing tactical, if you have reliable ways to gain CP already, then it's kind of a waste when you get those cards that you can't score. You either like, oh, I hope I can score next turn, but now my opponent knows I'm going to try and score it, so they can try and stop it. So that's a big part of my decision-making process is if my army needs the CP, has reliable ways of doing it, then I need the tactical for the CP potential as well.
Beautiful. Scary, what's your philosophy there?
So I do prefer tactical, just overall. However, yes, I'm very much in your vein where you need to be able to do fixed in the situation that warrants it. A lot of the times, that has to do mainly with like how you feel you have to play the game in front of you.
Yep.
Because a lot of the times, it's about just that gaming mentality, and the practice comes in understanding when taking tactical or taking fixed is a trap, right? And I think that comes a lot with just practice, because a lot of the times if you get into the mindset of, oh, I'm just going to do tactical all the time, you'll miss the one time where fixed would have been better. Right?
Correct.
And there's a lot of people who have gotten very comfortable with tactical, and I think that it does help when folks are like, flexible enough to be like, I just like the randomness of tactical because I don't really necessarily need a game plan. I just formulate the game plan as I go, right? And a lot of people are more comfortable with that style of gameplay, which is fine. It's just sometimes you're like, well, if I play tactical, I have to be ready to go anywhere at any point in time. And that isn't necessarily how I need to play into your army. It would be better to just be like, in this corner, and this corner for the whole game, force you to like come to me, and then just send one sacrificial unit to the middle to press a button and do that multiple turns in a row. And then that would just be better because then I don't like lose as many tools or like sacrifice as much stuff, and I can just play conservatively. Anyway, be flexible.
Yeah. Agreed. Next question by Daniel. How do you guys deal with salty players? Essentially, someone saying things like, "That's stupid. My army has nothing like that rule. I am always friendly and happy in my games, but it doesn't always rub off on them, and their attitude can sometimes ruin my games." Dustin, how do you
start with Scar on this one because I want to hear what he has to say about this.
Well, no, he's just like, I'm just going to smother them in kindness. I'm going to be the
He absolutely
lovely being on this planet, and my aura is going to suffuse into their skin, and they are not going to be salty anymore. That's exactly what Sky is going to say. Go on, mate.
It's about being sort of like emotionally aware of what they're going through, right? Like if somebody's just having a salty time, number one, you have to kind of be careful what kind of person they are, because there are some people who, no matter how much energy you give them, they will soak up all the energy, and it's like a void, right? It's like a void of negativity, and no matter how much you pour into it, it will never change. And you have to be very good at identifying that, and don't try to make it better if that's the case, because you will exhaust yourself. And I've been at that point where they won't vibe with you, right? So at that point in time, you just have to like just kind of nod and go along with it. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, haha, that's too bad, right? But you don't want to like just don't take it personally. But at the same time, maybe if you have a choice to play them next time during game night, maybe you play a different person, right? Like, police it that way.
Dustin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with that is like, one, you have to, like Scar said, you kind of have to gauge the kind of person that they are and the personality they are, because most of the time, and I'll say 9 times out of 10, if somebody's getting that salty and that like down on themselves, and it's you trying to cheer them up and convince them, no, you're fine, it's fine, and like whatever, you don't. It just makes it worse.
Piss them off more.
Yeah, it just pisses them off. Like generally, when that happens with me, I just agree with them over and over again. It's like, yep, you're right. This is dumb. Like it doesn't matter if they're right or not. They're in that zone. There's no getting them out of it. Just kind of be down there. It's like, yeah, man, this is dumb. I don't know why they let this happen. Like, yeah, I come back on a 5+. It's bullshit, man. I don't know what to tell you. It sucks, right? Yeah, you should get that too. Everybody should get that. Your army should just kick the crap out of mine no matter what I do. That's much better. But I mean, obviously,
so it's more you're more taking a placatory role.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've tried to take the opposite route and try to convince them otherwise. Like, no. So but it's just don't do that. Don't do that.
put my counselor hat on. There's a couple of different ways to go about it. It depends how much rapport I guess you have with the individual, and whether you can identify if they are just a salty burger, as in like they are just a salty individual, and this is just how they are, or if they're having some adverse reaction to something on the table, like they're having an emotional reaction to, because saltiness is emotion. It's just a negative emotion, and they're having a negative feeling, which is not something that you want your opponent to be going through. And it's just whether you care enough about what they're feeling. But if you do have rapport with them, try and connect with them, like Dustin said, like, what is it about this that's pissing you off? Do you want to unpack it? I'm real sorry. I didn't know that this was going to get that reaction from you. Do you want to do something different? Especially if it's not a tournament game, just like, do you want to just leave it there? Or like, do you want to just, I'll just take my CP back and we'll keep playing, like, doesn't matter. Or, do you want a little take backsy? Doesn't really matter either. Or you do what Dustin just said. Be like, there's no point me engaging with this. It's only going to make my game worse. And so I'm just going to be like, yeah, sure, man. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. This is the rules. I'm just playing the rules. And apologies if that's not something you foresaw, or because usually it's just literally something, either an aberration of dice or it's something they did not foresee. It's something that was not calculated, was not foresaw, was not taken into account when decision making occurred. That's caused the salt, so to speak, the negative emotion. Yeah, so 100%. Going back to that point, as a player, if possible, and being like, would you like to change something? I've found is the easiest way to do it.
That's a good thing to bring up too. I didn't say that because I generally don't get to that point in my games. So I always make sure that I tell my opponent everything that I can do, whatever. I'm very upfront with that. So like, if your opponent feels like they might have gotten gotchas, that's a great way to go back and say, oh, if I didn't realize you didn't know I could do that. Would you like to go like rewind time a little bit here, because I didn't know you. I didn't want to catch you with this kind of thing, because
counterpoint. You revel in their pain and more power.
Go back to the Dark City. Okay.
Yeah, you pull out your phylactery and be like, charge it up with your pain, sir. Charge it. But obviously, if they are just a negative individual, and I have met people who just seem to enjoy being salty. It's just like there's a mode of their personality, and I avoid those people like to play, because I've had that.
Better. I think we've all had that, where like there's a person who you play and they just seem to be the person who complains about everything all the time. Correct. Even though they're kicking your butt, and they're
no time for that.
Oh my god,
complaining the whole time. You're like, you're winning this game. Why are you being so negative about everything? You're kicking my butt right now.
Fair. All right. Dick Vanderhaast, one of the men with the greatest names on the planet. Hey guys, good to have you. My question relates to reps versus the new hotness. How much do you favor reps with an army versus playing the new thing that is broken / looks really good? I have the wrong two guys.
Yeah, you do.
For this question, because you guys are both very dedicated.
That was going to be my answer. What faction do I play? Was going to be my answer, and then that was the question.
Dustin plays the Hive Mind, and that's it. And Scary is a Necron player, as we know.
That's right. No, yes,
that's right.
Scary.
Hear that, Dick? Hear that, Dick? That's right.
Scary the Necron player.
I have your head on my trophy case. Anyway.
Yeah. But gents, we'll talk to this to the best of our ability. Dustin, reps versus the new hotness.
I mean, okay, well, I'm going to take a look at this as what is a meta chaser? Somebody who is going from army to army. Like, it is definitely more valuable to get reps, no matter how you look at it. Because even if you're playing the new hotness, you do still need to get your reps in with that new hotness in order to learn its ins and outs and learn its matchups, learn how to play those matchups too. So while even if you are going to jump to the best faction, you still need reps more than you need that new faction.
I agree.
Right?
I think that's almost exactly my philosophy. Scary, anything to add?
Reps is so important, but it's not just reps. You have to sort of like, you have to have it's a mentality thing, right? Because just because my list is good doesn't mean you're going to win games with it.
Yep.
Right. That's like a philosophy that I live by. Just because my list is, like if you copy someone's list doesn't mean you're going to do instantly well with it. You have to take your own sort of like spark and put it into a list in order to really make it work. And if you can either be following the meta or you can be making the meta, right? So as a person, I think reps make meta, whereas list sort of follows meta. So if you want to make reps, you could actually turn the meta into something with enough reps. Like you could have enough of an impact by putting the work and effort into it and going against the grain and creating a meta list or creating Lichter shame, right? And then everybody goes, what the heck is this? And then you change the meta by playing enough games with something that it sort of like just has a shift in the entire like philosophy of the game at a worldwide scale, right? And it's just something that's why reps is so important. I think 100% reps beat out on everything else.
I think we're starting to see I mean, this has come with the professionalization of a lot of tournament level players. Things like Art of War, things like what are the UK boys, the Europe guys that are going to win the 40k teams this year in the ITC. David Gaylard, Vic Vijay's team, Team Ignite guys are they're at a professional standard who. Most of those guys play a huge, diverse range of factions as it is. That is where I see the new hotness guys, because they play so many reps of the game rather than playing the reps of a faction, that they're able to pick everything up and play everything to a very high degree. Art of War Boys would be another great example, like what Jack Harpster did in the year that he won the ITC, where he played like 4 different factions, won events with 4 different factions, sometimes writing the list on his way to the event with no reps, stuff like that, just because he plays so much 40k, is intrinsically surrounded by so much 40k that a rep is just a rep, and being sharp is just enough. For us lowly plebs, and I'm talking to 2 WTC players here, and as somebody who's played WTC, reps is everything. But for me, I get to, and the second part of Dick Van der Haas's question is, I'm at a point where I feel comfortable going into anything with these Chaos Knights, but I feel the call of the new Crons and going back to my roots. I am of the point 100% go back to your roots. When you feel that comfortable with a faction that you can play into anything with it, I put you into the, so there's the 3 levels of expertise with any given task. There's the beginner, journeyman, and expert. As soon as you hit that expert level with a faction, you don't really need to have the constant churn of reps. I believe you, like, if you wanted to go back to CK for like a bigger tournament, do a couple of tune-up games, do 5 tune-up reps, and that would be enough to get you back to the expert level where you left off. Whereas, if you go and play, new Necrons now, you could have a brand new perspective on how to play your Chaos Knights coming out of it. And you will learn how to play Chaos Knights into Necrons, etc., and vice versa. So I'm of the opinion that Dustin's absolutely right. The best way is to play into the new hotness, if you can, especially if you're a faction specialist. Or going further than that, if you can play as the new hotness whilst still being like a Chaos Knights player, that's even better. That's one step better. There's no better way to learn how to beat an army than playing as that army. And there's literally no equivalent. It is the equivalent of playing into it 5 times, is the way I equate it in my head. Like, just seeing the mechanics of it yourself and being in control of all those mechanics is just worth 5 reps of games versus them. And you will identify the win conditions so much quicker and so much better for it.
As a faction expert, right? Same with like Dustin. I think one of the things that we get to do that a lot of people don't is we have the luxury of trying stupid stuff.
Yes, that is true.
Because, a lot of the times...
Let's call it off meta.
Okay, off meta. But there was a period... I play so many reps with the faction, and, I play so many games of just in general, that you can sort of afford to take some of that time and just try stuff that's against the grain without feeling like you're wasting the time because you need to practice for an event or something like that, because kind of what works. And so, this is like a standard competitive list or whatever that I take, and, variations of that. But then you go, you know what I want to try? I want to try all this. How many planes can I fit into a list and still be effective? Or, I'm going to build a list with
damn planes.
Triple Court of the Archon, triple like Homunculus, Rax, triple Beast Pack, right? And just see, can I make a Horde list that's like pretty tanky? Just silly things, right? And but you don't really get to that point unless you have enough reps that you can kind of try stuff out and feel comfortable with it.
I think that is another great point. All right, who's in Canadian? Has asked, no questions, just want to wish everyone Merry Christmas. And also asked, will you guys be attending the Winter Open in March?
Maybe.
The which Open?
The Winter.
The Winter Open.
Where is that?
The Toronto. It's
Toronto. Yes, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'll be there
Hell
for
yeah.
sure. 100%.
Beautiful.
I've got hell to pay. My chest lock is coming with me this time.
Wow.
Beautiful. All right. Last of the questions before we get into the Naughty or Noice. Kevin has asked, favorite armies / units they've built or are excited about for 2024?
Let's just say I have an entire. This is the thing. I'm probably one of the most excited things that I have excited about is Tomb Kings. I have my old Tomb King army, and this is not 40k, but like I've had this Tomb King army for 20 years, and for the last like 10 years with, what was it? Since when was Age of Sigmar released? I don't remember, but I feel like it was a long time ago. And ever since then, they've been in a box.
9 years.
So that's literally what I'm excited about. I had all these old ones that I hadn't built yet, and just seeing all this old world stuff getting like previewed and whatnot has got me building Tomb Kings for the first time in 20 years, which I'm so excited about.
Fantastic. Dustin.
For me, I think the one that I'm more excited about right now, and it's going to seem kind of lame to most of you, I'm sure, but I just converted up some Tauroxes to potentially add to my GSC list when I want to. So I didn't like the tracks. I wanted to look more like Goliaths.
Yep.
So I kind of changed them with the wheels there, and I'm excited to put those on the table because they're kind of cool. They're
nice,
like half the cost of a freaking Goliath and do almost the same thing. So just whatever.
So favorite? What's the Sky? What's the favorite army you fielded this year?
Ooh, I really like look Dark Eldar. That just wins hands down, just in general. But my favorite was playing the Necrons at the WTC because it was different, but I kind of like fell into the role that I was given like so well. I had so much fun with that list. It was very fun, and I just enjoyed it a lot. It was just very robust, and it just felt great playing it.
Dustin, your favorite army or list from this year?
The Boom Bust list. The one I was talking about with all the guys that would blow up the transport they're in and then use demo tournaments again. I got to use it for one tournament, and ironically, that was the fall open. So now the winter open coming up. But that list was so much fun to play. It was not okay.
Excellent. All right, let us go into our Naughty or Nice list. So I'm just going to throw out stuff to you guys, and sometimes these will just be us just saying naughty or nice, and sometimes we will need to discuss, but a minimum you have to say either naughty or nice to each one of these topics, and I think there are about 25-30. All right, first up, Home Alone.
Naughty.
I'm gonna go with nice.
Why naughty, Scary?
Because who doesn't like some good old-fashioned physical violence?
So you're using naughty as a good thing. Yeah, I'm going nice because I always watch this at Christmas time. It is fantastic.
We just
the first one, literally I did this as well, and we're watching the second one later in the week, I think. But yeah, it's meant the first one as well, not the 5th or 7th or 17th.
There's only 2.
There are only exactly right.
There are only two.
2.
Yeah, the others. What others?
There are only 2.
Just like Alien.
Just like
and.
Yes, I had to think about that. Right. Kevin wasn't that bad, but
all right. Fruitcake.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
I'm gonna go naughty. Yeah,
I like a mince tart, like a fruit mince tart at Christmas time. But fruitcake, I mean, I douse it with like butterscotch sauce and custard, and therefore it doesn't.
It's
even
a texture
matter.
thing for me. It's too gooey.
When people call me a fruitcake, I take it as an insult. So obviously, I don't like it.
That's fair. All right, so we're going naughty on that one.
Peachy.
All right. Listening. So I have so this one says just listening to the part 2 first. I'll have a lot of miscreants and a lot of deviants in my Patreon who listen to part 2 before they listen to part 1 of my show, and it's a running gag that they try and get a rise out of me with. But do you guys think that is naughty or nice?
Entitled.
Ooh.
That's not one of the options.
It wasn't. I mean, I'll take it. Hopefully that pisses them off.
Because they can, but right? They
But-
and
they
people
absolutely
who
can.
aren't on the Patreon can't. So they're just rubbing in everybody's face.
Fair.
Okay.
Dustin.
I call it nice, actually.
Yeah, just wielding a bit of privilege. Just being like, you know what?
Not even. It's just a matter of that they're supporting you just a different way. If getting a rise out of you means they're engaging with you. So
Yeah, and really, I in truth, and I'll say this once, I really don't care. I just find it funny to talk about. And, yeah, I find it kind of adorable. I take the support wherever I can get it. All right, naughty or nice? G-dubs care for AdMech.
that's pretty hard naughty, I think.
Yeah, but
Yep.
naughty, silly Games Workshop, grumble.
Yeah, agree. 3 to 6 model unit sizes, and then is in brackets primaris infantry.
Nice.
I think it's naughty.
Why?
I think it's trash.
Why?
Well, it doesn't fit in the freaking transports
You just have to take one out, whatever.
and pay the same amount of points
Yeah.
as the.
Who cares? If you really need them to be in transport, just don't take 6.
I remember when the indexes first came out, and I played a bunch of Dark Angels games. And one of them, of course, I played with the Unforgiven Dark Force, and I put 5 Blade Guard and a Blade Guard Ancient in an Impulsor because, of course, you can't fit 7, but you still pay the price for 6 Blade Guard. And I just felt like such a dumbass. I was just like, why is it like this? Why am I losing points?
I've taken 6 strong Crusader squads in an Impulsor and literally not taken the Neophytes just so I can give my Impulsor Scout.
I call it nice.
You guys are both yuck.
It's nice.
Incorrect.
It's nice because you just need to buy 1 box and you have your unit now. Like you don't need to mix and match. You don't need to buy 2 boxes to have a
You
unit
know what
and
you
an
could
extra
use
guy.
that extra dude for? Another lieutenant.
Yay!
Lieutenant? What the
Yay.
hell? What the hell are lieutenants? What's that?
I don't know.
All right. Next one. Prospects for getting a Votan Codex in 2025.
Hmm.
They could be coming in 2024. But have they told us have they told us every codex is coming in 2020 in next
I
year?
don't think so. No.
I don't know. All I know is that at least you won't get squatted again.
Ooh.
Oh
Now that's
my
nice.
God.
Nice.
Nice. All right. And then chances of the Votan Codex being well balanced.
Oh, that's naughty. No,
That's
that's
definitely naughty.
that's
Like,
naughty.
Yeah.
What? You do know we're talking about Games Workshop, right?
The chances of this gent getting to tee up a casual game with any of us the next time we are in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.
Nice.
Nah, lovely. Yeah, and nice. Absolutely. Why not? All right, moving on to the next ones. LVO 2023 and the Sisters Terrain by FLG. So the FLG Sisters Terrain at 2023. The scandal being people did not know that was going to be one of the terrain sets in the terrain pack.
Nice. 100% nice.
Oh, 100% nice.
It was the best
yeah.
terrain set.
It was the best.
It
terrain
was.
It was
It was
the
the-
best one.
set. It was by far.
All of
the
the
best.
others are terrible.
Correct. And but when everyone was planning to be playing on bad terrain and then they ended up playing on good
You know
terrain, they were
what?
like,
You know
"Dang."
what? Okay. Let me go on a little rant here. Okay.
Here we go.
I come from
Let's do it.
a generation of gamers where you would go to an RTT and you did not know if you were playing on the table they set up at the beginning of setting up the tables
Entitled.
or the table they set up after they ran out of terrain from setting all the other tables up. And when you got to the table, you were just SOL about what you played on. You either played on the table with 2 trees and a crater and a hill that was from the fantasy collection because they needed a hill, right? Or you played on the one with all of the buildings, and one you played against Tau if you played against like in the big open. So just suck it up. Honestly, you just have to be flexible enough to play on anything that they put in front of you and use the tools of the game that you have available. Rent over.
I'm giving you a standing ovation. I know you can't see it, but that's. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
All right. Moving on. New World Eaters models, Codex and Angron.
New World
Was
Eaters
it naughty or
Codex?
nice?
Nice.
Yeah, the new,
Yeah,
the-
nice.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. And
Who
Angron
doesn't
model?
like murder?
Yeah. Well.
We all like the Angron model? I do.
I do. He's
Oh yeah.
awesome
Absolutely. He's
looking.
awesome. I
All
love
right.
him.
All right. Newly rebranded Stud or Scrub podcast.
Naughty.
It's naughty.
Naughty.
It's naughty as hell.
100% naughty.
Naughty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The release of 10th edition. So the release of 10th edition, not 10th edition.
Nice.
Nice.
Ni-
Yes.
nice.
Go with nice. Yes.
Nice.
I'm going naughty.
I'm a sucker for new things. So nice.
I like new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Arcs of Omen narrative book series release.
Nice. I played a lot of that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think you're the first person I've met who's played any of
He
the
plays a
Arcs of
lot of fluffy
No.
games.
I play.
He does,
I'm
he
like
does.
I'm a unicorn. Okay, I'm a competitive gamer that will crush anyone. But I also love naming all my models and playing Crusade.
Well,
Okay.
I call you a triple. I call people like that a triple threat. People who love the lore, love the painting, love the playing. But yeah, singing, dancing, and performing.
I have said this, and I will say, if you want to be a good competitive player, learn how to play Crusade games.
Well, dude, I look at it and it feels like back where we were in like 7th edition, where you just have rules on rules on rules on rules.
Sure, 100%. But it's like it's so wacky that you embrace it, and then what it does is it helps you adapt to change a lot better. And the best thing you can do when you're playing competitively is know how to adapt and effectively use change to your advantage instead of letting it stress you out and turn you into like a shell of a person that can't compute new information.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a take.
Yeah, that is a take. Moving on. I think the Arcs of Omen was just a huge swing and a miss. I tried reading some of the fluff as well because, of course, it had the lion in it and stuff like that, and it was bad.
I just played a lot of the boarding action stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I
we're talking
played
about
with
the
that.
story, yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of that of the little boarding action things. Those were really fun. I really enjoyed those little games.
There you go. Desolation Marines.
Oh God, get the
Ooh, nice.
naughty.
Just naughty. Just terrible models and problematic AF.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that makes them nice.
And now they're
Being devil's
now they're
advocate here,
dead. Now they're absolutely dead.
they spawned innovation, which is why I like them.
No, they didn't.
What was
Yes,
it-
they
what was the
did. They
innovation?
forced people to make changes to their list based on the fact that you'd see Desolation Marines. So it spawned like desperation innovation.
It didn't spawn shit.
It made me take a Void Raven Bomber. That's nice.
Oh my God.
Is that should that be the next Marine, the Desperation Marine?
Desperation Marine.
Marine.
Yes, that's it. That's the
You're
next
on
one.
my naughty
That's it.
list now.
You're on my naughty
That's it.
list.
All right. The toilet dice scandal, where the
Nice.
gentleman was caught with loaded dice trying to
gonna-
flush him.
I loved it.
It was the scandal hilarious. Naughty, stop fucking cheating. Like honestly,
Seriously.
get the fuck out of here. If you want to cheat at a little toy soldier game, pardon my language on this
No.
podcast. But if you feel like you need to cheat at this game, go fuck yourself. Anyway.
Seriously, Dustin and I are freaking fishwise when it comes to the cursing, but when Scary curses, I pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah, it's like, wow, he means it.
Oof. He's
Ooh,
got some
man.
feels.
Is it, it's like watching your wife swear. It's just throws you
Yeah.
off, you know.
I think
No.
toilet dice. I think the toilet dice scandal is nice because the memes have been amazing.
Memes were awesome.
So thank you for the memes, Mr. Toilet Dice.
Yes, absolutely. The memes were
Please
awesome.
never cheat again. But thank you for getting caught.
Yeah.
The World Championships of Warhammer, gentlemen.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. I ended up going to the first 8-person team event in North America, which was the Beer and Pretzels Open in Sudbury. And I'd already like committed to go like a year before because he was like, I don't know if I should do 8-person teams. I was like, do it. It'll be really fun. He sold out like 16 teams of 8 in like a little place called Sudbury, Ontario, which
Yes.
Google map where this is. It is it is not near anything that is Toronto. Okay. And so I went to that. But the World Championships Warhammer, amazing, really cool. I'm just sad it's the same weekend as the narrative because I would like to do both.
We're going to do both one year. Yep. I don't know how, but we're going to do it.
We can cosplay during the championships.
Done.
Beautiful. I think Noice. I think it was actually a fantastic event. I was blown away by the polished execution, the boutiqueness, how special it felt, and the fact that we had the most amazing thing to me about it was that we had one of the most narrative events I've ever seen with cosplay and beautifully executed, just everything in the same room as the best players in the world, cutthroat singles, craziness, and they were coexisting in the same building, and I think that is a testament in and of itself, if everything else wasn't already absolutely amazing. All right, Lion L. Johnson, Naughty or Nice?
This is a trap.
Is he in the jungle?
I mean, he's the lion of the forest. There's no jungle, mate.
No jungle? Okay, then Naughty.
It's a rock.
No, so this could be referring to a bunch of different things. So firstly, Naughty or Nice on the model, the new miniature.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
So nice. So nice. Naughty or Nice on his new fluff, if you know it.
Do not know. All I know is that he gets blown up next to another dog angel model.
That's not fluff.
I don't know. It's I don't know the new fluff.
I didn't love. So of course I read the book. Of course, I didn't love it. I didn't like the way that they went with it. I thought there were so many better ways that he's just kind of popping up everywhere. He's been asleep for 10,000 years, and now he's just kind of appearing places and is old. I was just like, okay, I guess we're just not going to explain any of that, which they didn't. And that was quite frustrating. Like there was nothing really got explained about that crap, and it just seems dumb. But apart from that, the things that he did, as in like gathering up all the fallen and trying to redeem them and stuff, I thought that was quite nice. I thought that's a Noice. And then his rules are naughty. The rules suck.
His very, very naughty.
Sucks so much. That's really disappointing.
Maybe if he drops like 150, 200 points, but
yeah, he would need to be like 200-ish he's just a beat stick. He doesn't do anything else. He has no meaningful buffs. And especially now with his best thing about him was he used to block. He had an aura of blocking mortal wounds on a 4+, and then they're like, well, devastating wounds ain't mortals anymore, so that aura does absolutely nothing.
His rules, it's so hit and miss with Games Workshop's release team. I don't understand why it's so hot and cold. You'd think that they'd have some sort of framework, right, within which they could deviate from said median. You know what I mean? But no, it's just sometimes it's just a home run, and sometimes we get Desolation Marines, and then sometimes it's Wraith Knight with fake dice.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right. The new guard models that came out at the end of the night, that being the Kassakin, Lord Solar, and then the overall impressions of the 9th edition Guard Codex. Dustin?
I'll go nice, but it's a soft nice.
Yeah. I think I don't like the Lord Solar model. I love the Kassakin and the new Guardsman models otherwise. But the Guard Codex gets a bit of a naughty for me. It was, I guess, more powerful in ways that I didn't love, and it felt quite clunky to wield. I mean, I took that to a couple of tournaments, and I found it pretty unwieldy, as in the rules were just kind of awkward at most of the time, but still just somehow OP. Scary, what about yourself?
I like the new models. I think the new guard models in general look really cool. I love just the aesthetic and they're kind of the design. You had the Kill Team box sets, right? So they're putting a lot more detail work into individual miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, though, when they have been doing these really cool miniatures, it's the miniatures are getting more and more detailed and more nuanced, but they're lowering the amount of sort of kit bashing you can do with them without really getting good at cutting stuff up and using green stuff, because all the molds are so intricate now that each piece interlocks and twists together to get a nice fit. And before it was torso, arms, legs, and so you could grab legs from a different kit and put them on, and different arms. And I feel that converting aspect of the game is less and less, right?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, actually 100% agree with that. Everything's getting more locked in, more bespoke, more this is the only bit that will go with this bit. Whereas like I still have just a bits box of just random ass Space Marine bits, and I could probably just pour them out onto glue and a Space Marine would form. Just like
Be a messed up one, but
it would be, it'd be it'd be Mr. McGreg with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. All right, Die Hard. Is it the best Christmas movie ever, or is there another that is close? Die Hard is definitely a nice.
Nice, 100% nice. Best
Also, watched that
Christmas
the other day.
movie
best
ever.
Christmas movie ever.
Is there another one that's close in your mind, gents?
Lord of the Rings Extended Edition? Like, come on.
So I was talking about this, and it's not that Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie. It's just that they all came out around Christmas, so we all associate them with the holiday season.
It's around this time that I always sit down and watch them again.
Why does everybody do that around Christmas time?
Because that's when I watched them when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
At the cinema. Yeah.
It's and it's sort of like it's relatable, and I like it.
Relatable.
Really
Wait a minute. Wait. Lord of the Rings is relatable?
Yes. I'm also Aragorn, okay?
Okay, out of all the characters you could have picked, that is the wrong one to relate.
Oh man. Nazgul?
Yeah.
Nazgul.
I only have one that is a contender in my mind for Die Hard, and unfortunately it's not Home Alone. It's Gremlins.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
I freaking loved Gremlins. Gremlins was my Christmas movie.
Was it Murder Tomatoes? What is it called? What's that movie?
No.
The Killer Tomatoes.
Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that for some reason you went into these 80s movies, and I was just thinking.
And you just thought Killer Tomatoes?
Killer Tomatoes for some reason.
Man, your mind is on another level than the rest of us, Gary. I can't.
I just remember the commercials with Gremlins and that one, like watching television as a kid.
Okay, yeah. Now I get the association because I do remember that too. Okay, I get it now. You made that jump without me catching.
All right, on to the next one. Is Canada the nicest place on earth, or do you only allow nice people to leave Canada? So that's what we all think.
I'm sorry you think that way.
Yeah, sorry.
Am I going to get any more out of you? I've been to Canada twice in the last 12 months, which is crazy. They are extremely nice people. They do have some douchebags.
Of course.
I was surprised and impressed by the quality of douchebag in Canada at times.
Where'd you get the douchebags? I mean, I know they exist. I'm definitely not denying it.
Just main cities. Every major city is
Toronto.
Some douchebags. Yeah, it was Toronto.
Yeah, but okay, it all makes sense now.
All right. Naughty or Nice on the 10th edition codexes so far. Are you happy with them and their balance?
Actually, I'm actually going to say nice to this.
Yeah, lovely. I thought you of all would be the most likely to say Naughty because the Tyranid Codex is.
But you know what? I don't say it's imbalanced though. It's not underpowered. It's not overpowered. I'm not like it's fine, and it feels like NIDS. I'm actually very upset they didn't do a tunneling detachment. That was a huge miss because they have guys specifically. They've done it for every other time they've done any kind of like formations or whatnot.
Yeah. It's like they dug themselves into a hole.
Oh my god!
Bang bangs the cigar with the What do you think of these 10th edition codexes, mate?
I love how many options they're giving us. Even though, like standard, they've given us a rule release, and there are certain detachments that are standing out over the rest of them, right? Like in terms of that. But that granularity, I think, is something that they wanted to work into the design because they wanted to be able to switch things specifically into like make detachments more appealing in updates. At least that's kind of what I got from how they were explaining 10th edition in general, right? So I like the granularity of it where there's like lots of different options. We're seeing one or two detachments in each codex be like the standouts, right? But they have the potential of being good with tweaking, right? And I do like the fact that giving you options. It's better than Index. Of course, that's what we have to compare it to is Index 40K.
Well, Index now is just one detachment instead of 6.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Right. I was about to say the only difference. So my issue is if your Index detachment is your best detachment? Did you get a codex?
Well, it comes
Well, it
with
changes to
crusade
the
rules.
rules. Oh no, okay, no, I wasn't.
No, I'm just, I'm messing with you. No, to be
Yeah.
honest, they have changed some of the index stuff, right? So
Yeah,
like the index
they have.
doesn't survive, but yes, you're right. If you're still using the index, they gave you the best one to start with, right? Which is a bit of a bummer, but if you're tired of playing that, you have options. And then
Yeah.
again, if you want to make it work, just play enough games and make it work. Like instead of just make it work.
So
Thinking about it.
this design philosophy already, and I literally called this. I think I freaking called this, saying like this is great as long as they can create an even spread of diverse and interesting detachments. And I think the first cracks are started to show. Case in point, the AdMech book. There is one detachment in there that is so much better than the rest, and the rest are extremely niche, needing fixes and or drastic rules changes and datasheet updates to make them even comparable to yeah. And so that just feels like the issue we could get is a worse version of what we had in a lot of 8th and 9th edition books, where you would get your T-Sons codex that had 9 cults in it, and everyone played Cult of Time. And that's the only one that was played, or everyone only played Bloody Rose. I have no idea what Argent Shroud does, because I'm a Sisters player who has only ever played Bloody Rose because there is no other viable option. And that is what I don't want, and that's what my fear is. Also, it's just what when they're writing the detachments, what fluff points or can they think of at the time? It seems to be is the number that you get when they run out of cool thematic ones to give you. They just stop writing them, and then there are some obvious ones they miss, like there are the identity of the tunneling beasts for Tyranids. Obvious miss,
but it's okay because they invented the harvesters, which we've known for a long time are a big thing with Tyranids, and we've always known that there's these harvester units that Tyranids have in your army that you should be bringing.
Yeah. And case in point, there is a bunch of stuff that they could have done for a myriad of different ones so far. For Necron, I mean, the fact that Necrons didn't get a reanimation protocol enhancing detachment, like they didn't get a detachment that is just built around their core mechanic, like their whole identity is reanimating. So here's the one that reanimates a little bit better. Yeah. The fact that wasn't a thing is just weird. It's so weird to me. So strange to me. But anyway.
No, I'm okay with it.
Well, every time they've done that, though, it's been so OP. Like the current detachment was the reanimation detachment back in, what is it, 6th edition or 7th edition, right? And that was the only thing anybody played. That and, Mind Shackle Scarab.
Listen, they just had 6 months of the Decuri detachment, all right? They're fine. They can get over it now.
They did. You know what? I've heard of people really enjoying playing with the Silent King detachment, right? That makes Lichguard better and stuff. That -1 damage to vehicles is pretty good on a Test Rack Vault, for example.
Yeah, that's not wrong. All right, but moving on, gentlemen. Trifle or plum pudding?
Ooh, what?
Ooh, trifle.
What the heck is a trifle?
Trifle? I think trifle. I think trifle. It's like custard and ladyfingers and jam.
Yeah, that's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very traditional dessert that my mum used to make all the time.
That's why I love it, because it's the thing my mum always makes. Christmas turkey or ham? There is only one right answer here.
Well, I know what Adam wants me to say, but no, that's not the right answer for Adam.
I do like ham, though. I do I love, as long as it's maple ham, then maple ham. But
which one do I like better? Or which one do I think is more Christmassy?
Oh, you just say which one you like better, mate.
Whichever one I like better, I like ham better.
So, I like ham, and I'm just going to put it out there again in the ether. Turkey is the worst eating bird. Of all the birds that you can consume, turkey is the shittest. I said it.
Gobble.
What codex are you most looking forward to next year?
Do we know which codex is coming out next year?
I'm about to actually Google it for us, just so we know. But
please, I don't think I know.
I don't think my favorite's going to be coming out next year.
I don't think mine is either.
So I would care less. I don't care. And Necrons has already been released, so I guess I'm excited about that one.
But all right, 40k roadmap. Let's go. What have we got going? So we have Dark Angels and Orcs, and that we know of, and then Custodes, Tau, and Chaos Space Marines. That is what they have told us so far. Oh, sorry. Apologies. And then after that, we are getting GSC and Sisters.
There it is.
Summer.
There it is. Hell yes. Wait. In the summer, could I get it before WDC? Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah. So spring 2024. Spring 2024, we will be getting Dark Angels, Orcs, Custodes, Tau, and Chaos Space Marines. And then in the summer, we are getting GSC, Sororitas Sisters, and one that is redacted. So who knows?
Well, if that's
Stoked.
Zelda, then I'm excited.
It's totally stoked.
It's gonna be Dark Mechanicus, because that's definitely something that's coming.
Oh yeah, baby, give me.
Backdoor and Friends.
I am. Which of those am I most looking for? Of course, it's Dark Angels, right? It's my baby. But yeah, easy. All right. Last question. What do you want from the January data slate?
I mean, okay. I want a couple things. I want Chaos Space Marines need to have if we figured out exactly what to do with the Marks II, they need to not be able to go into different Mark transports for one, because that's dumb.
Yep.
That needs to stop. And what was the other one? Actually, you know what? I would like to just not be able to mix and match Marks in general. Like
Like for Chaos? Heck yeah.
Like, I mean, if you are bringing Chaos Space Marines, you pick. Are you going to be Nurgle marked, or are you going to be Tzeentch marked? You're going to be Slanesh marked. None of this mixing and matching stuff. That's old school, being able to mix and match detachments, and nobody else can do it. So stop
it. Nice.
Agreed.
Gary,
I think
what would you like?
based on the fact that they weren't afraid to change stuff in the last balanced data slate, like for Votan, and literally change like detachment rules, I want a detachment for my Dark Eldar that actually does something. Please, for the love of everything that's holy, I just want a relevant detachment.
What do you mean? Your detachment get rerolls on here, there, and everywhere.
No, that's the army rule. The army rule's fantastic.
Oh, true. Sorry.
The detachment rule is take a succubus, a homunculus, and an archon, and get one more pain token.
You see how correct you were? Because I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was the rule.
It is the most. Anyway, hopefully that's what I want. I want that's totally selfish for me.
I'm pretty sure that when the Dark Eldar Codex comes out, that is not going to be the best detachment. And if it is,
certainly
Scarry's going to murder somebody.
It can be put into the past and buried and never spoken of again.
Fair. All right. What would I like? Oh, sorry, is there anything else we would like, gents?
I still feel like Eldar need to get toned down just a little bit. It's not even a lot. It's like one thing, and it's mostly fate dice. But
please change servo skulls, please. Like change some of these missions that are just wildly not balanced, like they did last edition.
Yeah,
just tweak them. You know what I mean? Just give us something that isn't that. Like they're clearly just a little too skewy. So it'd be nice for them to take some time to work on those.
I would really like them to wheel back some of the points changes on the GSC, because they got hit twice. So you can just do one or the other. We didn't need both. All right. When I take out one squad of my GSC and can fit 2 chimeras and 20 catechins for that cost, that's not okay.
I'm scrambling trying to find my little violin here. Where is it?
Shut up.
I would like them to see. I would like to see them roll back the bondsman change on Imperial Knights.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Keep the rest of it. Keep the tower and the Overwatch the same. Just see if that's enough to bring them into the middle of the pack. I would like them to see I think it was the points changes on Custodes, because I think they got the points changes and they got the rules changes and they got the unit sizes. So they should roll back the points changes on Custodes. I think I'd like to see it all become a little bit cheaper. They really just can't win any trade wars at the moment. Chaos Space Marines, a lot needs to be done to Chaos Space Marines. Accursed Cultists, I don't know what's better here, to just hit them with points, or to change the stratagems that gas them up, or to stop them from resurrecting so much. But one of those 3 things needs to change. Chosen, just need points. I'd be happy with just points, and or Make Chaos Undivided worse. Just make the stratagem worse somehow. Make it reroll once to hit, once to win, instead of 4 rerolls on everything, because that's just absolutely judicious. Obnoxious. And Chaos Lords go up in points. It's probably enough there. Eldar is weird, yeah, because I feel like if you increase their points anymore, they just don't have an army. Night Spinners need to be drop, punt, kicked into the sun.
The Night Spinners are the problem.
Take away the ability to the advance. Don't let just half advances, please, on them, and they'd be a lot less bad. But then they still just do too much damage. I don't know. And yeah, Fate Dice are just trash. Just piss them off. Hate Fate Dice. Something needs to be done as well. Still something needs to be done about the Yin-Khan. I don't understand how they've taken away so many feel bads in the game, and then the Yin-Khan's just smashing Timmy's left, right, and center, because, it's just, if you're not like somebody who's well versed in the game, that thing is just the nightmare of all nightmares to get your head around. And the Night Spinners are like the perfect activator for it. So that's kind of a twofer. Apart from that, I think the middle of the pack of the game is a relatively healthy place. This is a balanced data slate that could just buff the bottom, clip the top, and probably be fine. But I would, like Scary, I would really like to see a little bit of juice injected into the missions, because we're only 6 months in, but I'm already a little bit bored of the missions, a little bit dull on the missions. Does that resonate with any of you guys?
Yep, no, I can agree.
Yep, no, 100%. I think that's also it's been nice. Something I would actually like to see, like, moving forward is great. By the way, huge props to Games Workshop for what they did with like the Leviathan tournament pack. I think setting like a standard for competitive play is great. Something I would like to see, though, is them use different types of terrain on their boards, not just ruins. So like having like, because there's rules for obstacles, and there's rules for hills, and there's rules for forests, and it would be nice to have like non-breachable terrain, right? That's like that forces you to play around it or whatever. And I think they could take the time to just develop a couple of other like layouts that would sort of like spice it up a little bit and allow us to use more of the terrain that they even make, right? That isn't just building ruins, right?
Yeah, I generally agree. The only other thing I would really like to see them do, and please, GW, please do this, deploy Teleport Homers. Nerfed, destroyed, annihilated. It's such a boring maker of the game. It is the boring, non-interactive maker of 40k right now. Change it, alter it, make it not no points in the middle of the table, make it only points in your opponent's deployment zone or something. But it needs to go. It needs to change. It's just too good. But in its place, I would like to see more fixed secondary options, because as it sits right now, they're all kind of meh. It's just, do you give me auto points? If not, cool. I guess I'm going in with tactical. But on that note, we will wrap this up, unless you boys want to speak to that. Sorry.
No, I think you covered it.
No, I think you got it.
Thank you so much again for coming on, gentlemen. Please go over and check out some good old Stud and or Scrub podcast goodness, or some battle reports from them, or everything that Scary does. He is a holistic content machine, a man after my own heart. And we will see you next week. Hopefully you've had a wonderful and joyous holiday time, and you got to do some things that you want to do with it. And hopefully you're feeling fat and loved and happy and content with your 2023. Dustin, say your good nights, mate.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having us on.
Say your good night, Scary.
Good night, and here is to a great 2024, everyone.
Love you all. Thank you so much for the support. See you next year.
Thank you for listening to Art of War Down Under, a content review podcast for Warhammer 40k. Hosted by Adam Camilleri. Produced by Seamus Ronan. Enjoyed the show? Want your lists reviewed and the content you heard put into practice? Sign up to our Patreon and connect with us online or on Facebook. Just search for Art of War Down Under. Signing out from tomorrow.